guys, Steve here, and today we have quite a long trip to one of the islands in the Mediterranean Sea. We're going to Ajaccio, and we have a very interesting load today. We have a mobile crane, which looks like it's been finished with here. Looks like they've just set up some turbines, and it looks like we're going to take it to a different location. So we'll get started and we'll see how the trip goes. Start reversing, pick up the load. This looks like a beast of a trailer, so we're probably going to struggle with speed a bit on this journey, but nevertheless it should be quite fun, particularly when you can't see much behind you. So I can confirm that we do also have the spring mod enabled with the HDR effects. If you haven't seen that or you haven't used it before, personally it just makes the graphics look a lot more realistic, and obviously the weather looks a lot better as well. And to be honest, I will leave a link in the description to the mod in case you haven't used it before. And to be honest, it does make the textures in the game look a lot more lifelike, shall we say. I think we should be okay getting out of here. Just the other way, yeah, fine. Go. Past that roadwork section, and we will now proceed. So we've got a 955-mile journey to go. It's going to be quite a long journey. There's quite a portion of the journey is going to be via boat from Nice, I think. I think we pick up the boat in Nice or Marseille, one or the other. So we've got a long journey ahead to get to the south of France at the moment. Straighten up there. Slow down for this roundabout. Don't want to be tipping our truck over. Yes, so now we're on the motorway, we'll start talking about a few things to do with the game. So, or American Truck Simulator in this instance, because they've just released their new patch of a 1.37. So there is some new trailers out there which do look quite interesting, some foodstuff trailers and just a few other bits and pieces that they've added into the game. Seems like a fairly small update, to be honest. Seems like they're getting prepared, ready to release the new states that are coming up soon. I believe Colorado's going to be one of them. and seems like just a general performance boosted sort of patch mainly. There doesn't seem to be much that they've added in terms of content wise to the game this time round. Obviously Euro Truck Simulator will have its own 1.37 patch soon, which should be coming out, I'd imagine, fairly soon. I'd imagine they're getting close to the release candidate for that now, and to be quite honest, it's probably been testing for quite some time now. I personally don't do any of the beta testing myself. It's not one because I don't have the time for it with working full time, and generally I'd rather wait until the game has, you know, is reasonably okay for the new patch to come out. If I had more time on my hands, then yeah, I'd consider obviously looking at it, and it might be something I look at in the future. But this moment in time, I'm obviously looking at content that I could just push out fairly quickly. You know, every few days, an hour's drive to somewhere, and things like that. Something that I can do quite quickly. I don't really have to do much planning for, and yeah, these videos are quite easy to do because I just pick up anything, don't plan anything, just pick up a trip from somewhere, take whatever that I find, and just take it to places basically. That is my current aim. Obviously I do plan to cover more content in the future. I know I have touched on Farming Simulator, which I will be making a video on tomorrow, being Sunday. So I will start my Farming Simulator career essentially, and I am quite looking forward to doing that. It will be very interesting on how to gauge on running a farm, and obviously using all the farming equipment, obviously tractors, combine harvesters, everything. Obviously in regards to making money with, obviously in terms of produce like grain and things like that, and it is something that I am quite looking forward to doing. Let's slow down here before we go crashing into somebody. Okay, pull up into this toll booth there, wait for our turn to go through the barrier. Anyway, back on to Farming Simulator. Now we've gone through the toll booth. Yeah, so it will be something that I am looking to cover, probably maybe once a week in terms of a video. I'll probably just play it as I'm playing it normally. I'll just make a video every time I want to play the game to progress the career. Just see where it goes basically, and take it forward from there. That's literally all I'm planning to do at the moment. And obviously just get a first look into the game first of all, and then plan on obviously buying some fields and things like that, and obviously buying equipment, employing some staff, obviously selling produce, things like that, and obviously getting a good feel over the game. Might touch into some mods eventually as well, just to cover all bases, and then I might consider obviously expanding out, buying more fields, as I say. I am also looking to cover a few other games as well going forward, things like maybe Fortnite, Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, things like that. Just every now and again, probably a video once a week on a 3-weekly rota, because that isn't my primary aim for the channel, but I would like to cover that to bring in some views. Obviously that's not something that I'm wanting to cover full time. Simulator games are my main priority, and I will still obviously be filming those regularly, but I would like to play something else every now and again, just to sort of cover all bases really, and try and build a bit of a fan base, and just to cover games from different points of view, different genres, and generally getting a feel for obviously numbers in terms of views and things like that. This is going to be my third video that I've added to the channel. I did one last weekend on, well, last weekend night on a Friday, and then I did one also during the weekend, and I haven't done any over the past few days, purely due to work commitments and things like that, which obviously takes up quite a proportion of my time. But I am aiming, as I say previously, for about 2 or 3 videos a week to start with, just to sort of cover all bases really, and just try and pump out as much content as I can. Obviously eventually I will be looking to maybe do 3 to 4 videos a week, maybe in a month's time, and just try and build it up that way. I think 4 is probably going to be a limit really, because the fact is obviously I've got other things to do, I've obviously got work to do, and I best slow down here because this clearly this truck in front of me is not going very fast at all, and I would like to overtake, but to be quite honest I don't think it's worth it right now, due to the fact of is fast lane is quite busy at the moment, and I'm just going to sit behind this truck for now until the road widens, and then I might be able to get past. So we'll just set our cruise control at 42, might be able to go a bit faster, maybe 45, and just try and build up some speed that way, ready for an overtake maybe later on down the road. Anyway, we've got a toll booth coming up again, so best hit the brakes, and yeah, I think I'll drop back a bit. So you can certainly see the spring mod in full effect now, judging by the lighting of the weather. So the clouds look really realistic, and I really do like this mod. It certainly makes the weather a lot better in comparison to the vanilla SCS weather, which I find is rather plain and boring. And this mod just adds a bit of realism to the game in terms of the weather, and obviously weather effects essentially when it's raining and things like that. Obviously there is other slight mods as well. There's summer mod and autumn mod, and there's also the winter mod as well. I'll put a link in the description for the spring mod, and obviously in case you are interested in downloading that, I personally would recommend it. It is just short of a gigabyte in size, but it is certainly worth downloading. And if you're not familiar with mods for Euro Truck Simulator and American Truck Simulator, you just need to go to your Documents folder in Windows. Most people will use it on Windows. Obviously there are tutorials out there if you're using it on Mac or Linux about where mods would go. But yeah, for Windows users, they are put in your Documents folder, Euro Truck Simulator or American Truck Simulator folder, depending on which game you wanted to install it on. Obviously bearing in mind that Euro Truck Simulator mods generally will only work in Euro Truck Simulator and vice versa, for ATS as well. But yeah, you just stick it into your Documents folder, Euro Truck Simulator folder or American Truck Simulator folder, and then there's a folder called Mod. You stick it in there. At the start of the game there is a prompt where you can enable a mod, so you just need to make sure that you do enable it before you start up the game, or your save file essentially, and then you can play with the game with the mod enabled from there. Right, so we'll start changing lanes because we've come, looks like the road ahead is, I don't think it's going to narrow, but I think if we stay in this right lane, at least if we do need to exit, it's going to be a lot easier. Build up a bit of speed, and if we have to, if we do need to overtake anybody, well, we can do so. Traffic is moving fairly slowly in front of us, so we'll just see if we can pull off an overtake right now. Just pass all this traffic and then we'll go back into the slow lane again. That's what's holding all the traffic up, this glass van here. Okay. So how is everyone today? We are, as I say, just remind you, on the journey to Ajaccio, one of the Mediterranean islands. currently got 792 miles to cover at this moment in time, and this also that's on my screen at the bottom that you can see is also a mod, which I will also link in the description below if you are interested in downloading it. I personally feel it is a lot better to have this enabled on your screen because you can see all the information and everything literally all the time. You can obviously take it off your screen as well by pressing F3, but I find that it's better personally to keep it on the screen, and it's obviously a lot better than having the map consistently on your screen. Slow down, go around this bend. And I find that it just obviously keeps you up to date on everything in terms of your journey, your ETA, obviously your fuel level, so your rest level when you need to obviously have a rest break. So obviously it gives the user a lot more something to do with the game in terms of obviously keeping an eye on your speed limit, keeping an eye on the time and things like that. So your fuel level, rest stop level, what gear you're in, obviously if there's any damage to your truck, what speed limit you're doing. And it also obviously brings up any notifications for any drivers just above it as well if they make any money whilst you're on the go, which you probably will see pop up at some point. I will leave a description with that in as well, a link in the description for that. Coming up to another toll booth ahead. Do have many of these in France. I for one like this because it breaks up your journey slightly into smaller segments. Some people hate them, but I personally think it's a good idea. And obviously it adds to the realism of the French DLC because, let's face it, they're everywhere in France these, and as we have touched base on previously, they don't pay road tax in France, and this officially pays for the road network. We'll pay attention here because there's quite a lot of lanes going into one here. Just slow down, wait our turn. Yeah, should be clear now. Right, so we've cleared that toll booth now, so we'll just go on a bit more about this game. If you've got anything that you feel I should cover, or if you want me to do any specific trips with any particular heavy loads or anything like that that you would like to see me cover, feel free to leave a comment in the video below, and I'll quite happily arrange at some point in the near future to do a trip somewhere with a specific trailer. I'm pretty sure I can find it from somewhere. And yeah, I'm willing and open to any suggestions that you've got for any videos you want me to do going forward. Whether that would be Euro Truck Simulator, American Truck Simulator, Farming Simulator, or if you would like me to try out any other game, I'm quite happy for people to leave a comment below about anything. Whoa, okay. Well, that was a bit close. Could have almost ended up in a disaster. At least they didn't crash, that was the main thing. So in case you don't know, this is the MAN TGX Euro 6 that I'm currently driving right now. It's obviously part of the vanilla games. It's not anything that you have to purchase in case you don't have the game, or if you're looking to buy it. It's already readily in the game. Got it with a bright sunset orange colour, and I do have air horns as well fitted to this. I do have the 18-speed gearbox fitted as well, and I also do have one of the beefier engines in this. Not specifically sure or can confirm exactly what horsepower it is right now. Can't remember without having to check. Oops. Yeah, perhaps I should slow down a bit. So just a roundup of our trip so far. So we've got 712 miles to go, and yeah, still a long way off on this journey yet. See, it's looking like it's mostly going to be motorway that we're going to cover until we get to Marseille or Nice, whichever place it's asking us to go to pick up the ferry. And then it should be a pretty short journey after that once we do get to one of the Mediterranean islands where Ajaccio is on. I forget which island it is right now. It's either Sardinia or Corsica. I'm quite sure which island it is. One of them anyway. I'll just continue following the signs for Toulouse right now. I think I might consider overtaking this lorry in front of me, due to the fact of he's probably slowing me down. Just get past him and we'll move back over again. Okay, well he's moved over anyway, so we'll just continue in the fast lane for a bit until we have some space to move back over. Wow, I'm surprised that police car didn't find me. Very surprised. Interesting. Okay, we've got another toll booth coming up. Okay, so we are continuing straight here towards Montpellier. Okay, when's the traffic going to let me in? It's always typical in this game that it starts raining. At some point in every journey I seem to do, any long distance journey, it always seems to start raining somewhere in the game. Always seems to happen. I know I do have the rain probability set to about 50%. So, to be fair, some people probably have it lower, but I find in Europe for most of the year it rains more often than not. So, particularly in the UK. So this is probably added realism right now. But I do love the rain effects in this. So you can just about hear the rain, and it sounds a lot better than it does in the vanilla game. In my opinion, it sounds more realistic. Okay, it seems to be a bit of a hold up further ahead, so let's put back a bit. What's going on here? I think there just seems to be a long line of traffic in front of us right now. can start to move now. Hang back a bit. Okay, don't go anywhere, coach, stay where you are. Thank you. It didn't seem long ago we went through the last toll booth and now we're going through another one. Stopped a bit too soon, that. Just be careful here. I'll be taking a fellow trucker or a fellow car driver out. Okay, he's letting me pull in, so it's fine. Thank you. Okay, so how far are we in terms of a rest stop? So we've got an hour and 49 minutes to go. I think we'll pull in here for some sleep just to make sure we're not going over our driving hours, because I'm not quite sure where the next petrol station will be. So we'll pull in here and get some rest, and then we'll continue on our journey. We're okay for fuel, so we can pull in here. Here we'll do nicely. Straighten up a bit. Okay, so we'll continue our trip now. Just make sure the road's clear. This could be a bit tight. Oh, okay, plenty of room there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to turn around in here. Yeah, always forgot about this rest stop, that you've got to turn around and go back with yourself. Minor inconvenience. Straight here, straight down here. What's that post? Okay, so we'll now continue on our journey. Now we've got out of the service station. another 622 miles to go. It doesn't feel like we've covered a great deal so far, but nevertheless, we will get there eventually. So currently at the moment we've got 36 hours to go, so we've got plenty of time to get to our destination, and we will cover another 10 hours of driving here. So to be quite honest, we will make a good indentation in our trip during this leg of the journey, and to be honest, we may get close to potentially the ferry stop before we have to rest again. So we should be okay to finish our journey now, to be quite honest. I don't think we'll need to stop again. We might need to stop for fuel at some point. We are okay at this moment in time, but we may have to review that eventually. We may have to stop for fuel at some point, but we'll see how we get on. So if I do use cruise control a lot more, we should be okay. It does have quite a big fuel tank, this vehicle. Could have gone a bit further up the road and stopped at this little rest stop on coming up on the right ahead, but never mind. Stay there. Thank you. Looks like we might be exiting the motorway coming up soon, so we'll have to move over. I see. Looks like we must be merging onto another motorway here. Slow down, just make sure we don't tip over our truck. Right, let's go. Hopefully close to that white line then, we'll move over slightly. Just trying to work out here if we need to change lanes. I think we may have to. Just trying to work it out. I think we might have to, so I'm going to change over now. Yes, we do indeed. Look, a beautiful sunrise we're going to have. Look at that. So that looks a lot more realistic in terms of weather effects in comparison to the vanilla game. So there's a lot of really good mods out for this game, and It's still crazy to think that they're still developing this game 7 to 8 years after it first came out. It's unbelievable how long this game's been out for now. And the fact that there's still such a big community and a big fan base of the game. And if anything, it's growing all the time. And to be quite honest, whilst the fan base is still growing, there's people still playing the game, I don't think they'll move to Euro Truck Simulator 3. A lot of people are saying that they want them to do that, but to be quite honest, I don't think they will. I think they'll just continue improving on what they've got here, because quite frankly, this is, you know, it doesn't age, this game, whatsoever. Obviously, there are parts of the map, as I say, I have spoken about this previously, like the UK, that do need to be updated and made more modern. But I think that will come eventually. I hope it does, because in comparison to the rest of Europe that is on the game so far, it's miles and miles sort of like in the past. Bearing in mind, obviously, the UK was in the original game, and the majority of Europe now has been either added into the game as DLC or updated, made more modern. So it is about time that the UK had some of that as well, and obviously maybe add a few more roads, obviously maybe a port in Holyhead, and maybe Pembroke to go to Ireland, and add Ireland as part of the original game as well. Obviously I know it is in Pro Mods. I will be looking to play Pro Mods one day. Just going to overtake this lorry in front of me, and I will be looking to cover that fairly soon. I might consider covering that in the next Euro Truck Simulator video. I'll obviously have to download it first and obviously install it, and get a feel for different parts of the map, and then I might consider covering Ireland first, maybe other parts of the UK, just to make it a bit more realistic. Because to be honest, it is a shame that they haven't done the UK yet in terms of modifications to make it more modern, and obviously added Ireland into the game, because Ireland is such a big country, they could quite easily cover that. You know, obviously Northern Ireland as well, and it would be really nice if they added those two countries into the game. Okay, looks like we do need to change lanes again here. Change back. Hello, fellow truckers. Oh, this is a particularly quiet section of road right now. Toll coming up ahead. Thinking there, which lane is it? I couldn't see. There's two lanes, but both of them were covered then. Couldn't see the markers for them. took a little bit longer to go through the toll than I thought he was gonna. Okay. Fairly clear exit this time. Looks like change. Steep incline. This might make this truck struggle slightly. Should be okay though. So going back to what I mentioned earlier on in the video with Fortnite and Call of Duty and Apex Legends, if anyone's got anything specific that they would like me to do, whether they would like me to do sort of like squads in Fortnite or solo mode or team deathmatch, whatever you want to call them, if there's anything particularly that you would like me to cover on the channel, I'm quite happy to do so. If you would leave a comment in the video, that would be very in the description below on this video, that would be very nice in the comment section. I would be quite happy to take your questions or any comments that you want, as say, in terms of content you want me to produce. As I say, I'm only just starting up, so at the end of the day, I want to cover what basically any subscribers and viewers want me to cover. At the end of the day, I also obviously want to cover content myself, which I've obviously got aims to do, but at the end of the day I want to make sure that you, the viewers, obviously want to watch my videos, so I'm quite happy to cover any content you would like me to do. Looks like the weather's changed again now. It looks like we might be in for some more rain on here. Headed towards the Mediterranean and it's looking very gloomy. It's not very lifelike. To be honest, in the spring it should be nice there. Just gonna let my fellow trucker pull out. Should be okay. Oh, he couldn't pull out anyway because there's a car behind me. Oh well. Another toll booth coming up. Better move over. Is this car driver letting me pull over? He is. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Excuse me. Big queue this time. Come on. I didn't really want to have to hit the brakes again, but never mind. Okay, so we do have our turn off for Marseille ahead, so it will be Marseille that we are going to be docking from, and to Ajaccio. So we do have 419 miles to go, so we have covered a significant proportion of our journey now, and majority of the journey going ahead is going to be via boat. So we should quite easily get to Ajaccio now without having to rest again. As the rest meter will fill up whilst we are on the boat, so we won't need to worry about that. Let's just slow down here because we're running into a 43 mile an hour zone. Oh, hello. Okay. Yeah, that was my bad. I should have hit the brakes a lot earlier. I love it how that Mini just didn't let me go back onto the road. Yeah, that wasn't very nice of you. I think I do need to change lanes here again. I do indeed. Let's move over. What a stunning terrain in this. Wow, beautiful. Major motorway underneath us, excuse me. Okay, so we should be coming into Marseille now. Don't think it's much further down this road now. Looks like we are coming off at the next junction. Slow down here. Tight bend coming up here. Okay, so we've made it to Marseille. I think this will be the first... I don't know. I have been here, I think, once before. I haven't been here for a while, though. Okay. So roundabouts. I thought I was going to hit the curb then. Almost did by the looks of that camera angle. A bit further up the road. Wow, look at this ferry port. I think this is the actual first time I've actually been to the ferry port in Marseille. I haven't been here before, so I'm quite actually amazed at how... Look at the realism of these docks. Wow. I'm actually quite amazed right now. It's the first time I've been here on the game, and I'm literally in awe of it. I know it's only a dock, but wow. How much further is it to the ferry terminal? My word. Extremely long straight road. I love that advertisement there for an American Truck Simulator. Anything to get people to buy the game. After all, it is a good game. I do recommend it if you haven't played American Truck. Okay. fine bend coming up. Slow down. Can't be much further now, surely. No, it's not much further now. Looks like we're coming towards. Yeah, I can see a picture of the boat on the GPS. Sat nav. Let's go here. Is it going this way? Yeah. Literally just taking it very easy in this area because I've not been down here before. Loving the boat. This is nice and easy to drive on. Alright, so truck it to neutral, put the parking brake on, turn our engine off, and we will head to Porto Vecchio. Ajaccio is just a bit further up on the island, so we've got a bit of a journey to go yet. Okay, so this is the first time I've ever been here. Not been here before. So this will be a new experience for me. I've not been on this island before. Or at least this section of island anyway. Side there. Move over. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to turn. These on for the moment, just so I can see where I'm going. That's it. Okay, so. To the ferry port. Continue with our journey. Certainly be interesting driving up these streets. Okay. Where did you get your driving license from? Just pull out in front of a truck. Don't even look. It's okay, officer. technically it would have been you at fault if I did crash into you. So I would have still got fined though, because the game's biased in that way. But nevertheless, it should be you that's getting fined and not me. Nice dark road ahead. Roundabout. Take it easy on these parts because I don't know this island as very well at all. It's not somewhere I've been before, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I haven't been. Or at least to this section of the island anyway, at least. So I am just going to take it easy. I'm not going to rush. After all, I do have 16 hours to go and I am only 2 hours away, so plenty of time, no problem there at all. Going into another built-up area here. Forgot what button the cruise control was then. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video so far. This is one of my certainly long haul videos that I will be doing on the channel. I will be doing these quite often because I do like the long haul journeys, and don't get me wrong, I like short haul journeys as well, but I find that the long haul ones are certainly better. Obviously they feel a lot more sort of realistic in terms of obviously journeys that truckers would make throughout the European region, and I just don't, you know, I much prefer long hauls, and I think that they make better videos in my opinion. Obviously you can have a lot of short haul videos about 20 minutes long. I'd rather make one that's over half an hour to an hour, maybe a bit longer than that depending on the distance between start and end points. Certainly an interesting piece of road this. It's there's quite a lot of bends on it, so I'm glad I'm not taking it too fast. I think I'm covering it just nicely right now. Not too quickly, not too slow. Let's turn a bit slower. Speeding up again now. Certainly a lot of blind bends, that's for sure. I'd imagine it'd certainly be a lot easier to drive this in daytime than it would be at night. But hey, we won't complain. I'm enjoying it all the same. so we do have a left turn ahead. The destination's not too far away now, we've just got just over 40 miles to cover. Twisty section of road ahead. Wow, it's the first car I've seen for quite some time. Woo, so this is a tight bend. Wow, that caught me out almost. Hit the brakes there. I don't think I should be taking this section of road much more than 25 mile an hour at this moment in time. Keep it to a steady 27 if we can, just whilst we're going through this section. Hello, coach. Yeah, certainly glad I'm doing this speed limit now. Couldn't go much faster. So I think we're going to a bit of a straight section. Yeah, so we can speed up a bit. Just whilst we get up this hill. So it's like we do have a roundabout ahead. Just 19 miles to go to finish the journey now. Not far to go at all now. I quite enjoyed this trip. Certainly one of my most enjoyable journeys that I have ever done. I have to say, I've been playing the game for quite a few years now off camera, and this is probably one of the most enjoyable trips I've had. Loving this road, absolutely loving these roads. Nice, tight and twisty, which adds a bit of certainly adds a bit of serious to the game. After all, you know, motorways can get a bit monotonous at times, and they are just purely straight roads. So it is actually quite nice to actually travel on a road that is twisty and tight in parts. And I certainly do like this island. I must admit they've done a good job on this section of the France DLC. Just slow down a bit. Okay, so it looks like we're just about to come into Ajaccio. If I've pronounced that correct. Anyone know? I'm presuming I'm pronouncing it correctly. Hello, fellow truck driver. Lovely advertising campaign there for World of Trucks. Hey, our left turn ahead. Okay, looks like our drop-off point's just around the corner now. Slow and steady. And we are now here. However, getting in here might be a bit tight, so I may turn around depending on if I can get in. I should be okay, I think. Well, we do have a trailer that does have rotating wheels, so yeah, we will be absolutely fine. Just enter into the... yeah. I will just leave this somewhere because this will probably be an absolute nightmare to reverse. Okay. Yeah, perfectly fine. Sorry, Mr. Car Driver, for holding you up. Just drop this off. Okay, so we are now here, we've reached our destination and we will unload the trailer. Nice bit of coin on that journey, and we've now levelled up again. Just move off. Okay, well, this is the end of the journey for today, and I do thank you for watching the video. I will be covering more Euro Truck Simulator videos over the next few weeks, and also some more American Truck Simulator videos. And yes, as I say earlier in the video, I will be compiling a farming simulator video tomorrow. This will be the game that I will be starting, and this will be a fresh career, so this will be something that I am starting from scratch. But for now, I thank you for watching my video, and I will be back with another video fairly soon.